Welcome back to Salt Lake City, Utah for the Players Championship. My name is Dave Vincent. This is the men's round of 8 in the quarterfinals. Marco Chavez and Dan Zimet, as we have the announcement from our referee,
Pro Tour today.
Chris Watkins.
We have receiving serve from Baltimore, Maryland, Dan Zimet, making his senior pro debut. And serving is longtime Pro Tour and U.S. Open doubles champion 3 times. And current number 2 ranked senior Pro Tour from Orange County, California, Marco Chavez.
Marco Chavez, yeah, might be number 2 on the rankings, but
0 serves 0.
Is the highest ranked player
Short.
In the Young Guys Tour that's also crossing over here in the 40s. And this Marcos is really unbeatable.
Point.
I think his lifetime senior race record only has
0.
brought him about 3 losses out of about 30
Side
wins.
Out.
You're watching ESPN and the Watch ESPN
0
app.
serves 1.
Dan Zimet wearing the green, Baltimore, Maryland. Dan has a huge family back home as we welcome in Kara Mack, watching in Baltimore. He's more of a 3-wall player, right side 3-wall player. Excuse me, right side 4-wall player and a left side 3-wall player in doubles, where he's won a lot of his national championships. Not known to be a singles threat in 4-wall, but we all know he's a threat
serves 1.
nonetheless. I've played against him in a national championship myself, and he was definitely the best player on the court.
As far as the 3-wall courts, where do you find those? Are they specialized for 3-wall, or
yeah.
can you play?
You have to.
One serves
you have to
one.
search.
Yeah.
It's not easy to find, but they're in parks.
Short serve.
But you don't come to a 4-wall and just play 3-wall.
Right. Yeah, it's no back wall, so it'll be in a park somewhere.
Well, no, there's no back wall, but you can essentially still play on the 4-wall.
No.
Pretend like.
No, you couldn't, because the ball's going to hit the back wall, and then you have to replay it. So the whole purpose is that it's just you're roaming more about 50 or 60 feet back, hitting handballs. Takes a lot of athleticism and endurance, stamina. Completely different game, too.
1 serves 1.
Now, Marcos is a crossover 3-wall player. He's won national championships as well. Marcos wearing a blue shirt from Buena Park, California, sponsored by the LAAC. He's won a couple national championships in the pro division in 3-wall in doubles. He also plays big ball 3-wall. Dan Zimet's wins in 3-wall have all come in H division play.
Side out. One serves 2.
Super slow-mo brought to you by RNA CPAs, and you see that Marcos spun the wrong way and Zimet made him pay. See, that was a big ball shot right there that Marcos took. He did it again.
Hold it. How's up?
You see Marcos has that smile on his face. If we were to replay that last shot, you see Marcos take his hand, just the little flip, soft, methodical over to that corner. What he's doing is trying to hit the front wall and clip the side wall.
No, short serve.
Marcos will do that when he's way overconfident. He did it with his left hand, and the very next shot he did with his right. It's a big ball shot where you hit the ball with a very relaxed hand and flat. And it could be wrong for Marcos to underestimate how good Dan Zimet is.
2 serves 2.
Marcos has a pretty good gauge of what his talent is.
Side out.
See Zimet jump over that ball that Marcos hit. Didn't want to be called an avoidable hinder. And here's a replay of that. And this is going to be one of our best ones. Watch what Zimet does, knowing he's going to get hit.
Serves 2.
Tries to jump over the ball and then dive in, and just misses, catching that ball in the flush part of his hand.
Sign out.
Zimet looked at his draw and said, you know, this isn't favoring me. This is one of the worst draws I've ever seen in my life. you know. And I said, well, why? And he goes, Marcos, you know, I have to beat Andy, and then I have to play Marcos. And I said, well, Dan, you're better than I am, and I beat Marcos last year. And he goes, that doesn't make me feel any better. I still have to play him.
2 serves 2. Point.
That was 2 bounces. Dan called it against himself.
3 serves 2.
The score is now 3-2.
No, short.
It's a 1-game match to 25. You have to win by 2, and this is the quarterfinals in Salt Lake City. Big setup for Marcos. He's a back wall specialist. Doesn't put it away.
It's not.
This is a big setup for Marcos again, and he goes to that left corner. You knew he wasn't going to miss 3 times in a row. Chavez gets another point.
4 serves 2.
I like that he came embracing that he wanted the senior shirt.
Yeah, I thought he said, I want one of those shirts that say old guys rule.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
5 serves 2.
Then he claimed to want to give it to his father, but we all know he wanted it.
No, he wanted it. That was a short ball, and Dan is going to try to lobby for this if he doesn't win the rally.
Point. Saw the serve good. No lines. So I saw the serve good.
He could come to video replay, but he doesn't read emails, so.
6 serves 2.
Or check websites. There it is. That's the slop shot right there, and that's 3 in a row that Marcos has missed. But if he does make that, it's a tremendous shot.
2 serves 6. Side out.
Very creative as Marcos goes with an overhand tomahawk, left-handed jam.
6 serves
And you're
2.
going to see it here. Watch what Marcos does with this left.
Hold it.
Very creative.
Now, has Nadi Jr. ever considered playing in the 40s
Replay,
and in the
6
younger
serves 2.
bracket, or?
Well, the only way, it's a rule that if you're named in the top 8, you can't play. But if you see, there's a shot, and if we have a replay, we'll see it. But since Marcos wasn't actually a named Elite 8 player, he could qualify, which he had to do. Now watch this shot. This is what I'm talking about. Watch, open hand, slice down to the corner, and it's just an impressive shot.
Yeah. Makes it look easy, too.
It's called a flop shot. Marcos certainly has it as good as anybody in this tournament.
Timeout, 1 minute, first timeout.
You're not going to see too many players do that. If we are able to see that again on the instant replay, what Marcos does is he is taking a big ball shot, a shot that you would do with a racquetball, because the ball's going to come off your hand differently. He flattens out his hand. Now watch his right hand here as he makes kind of a paddle. There it is, open paddle.
Yep.
And he just kind of pops it. What that ball does is it comes out like a knuckleball with a little bit of spin, maybe some top spin. Ball's topping, it hits that front wall and flattens out, slows down. And now you can see him chatting with Mondo about it, because he knows it's a trick shot as well, and it actually is a trick shot. It's absolutely very hard to do. But when it comes off your hand, you know instantly that you just got a point. Dave Chapman was a master at that shot. It's a converted big ball shot in a 4-wall court. And we've already seen Marcos try to attempt it 4 or 5 times here in the first 10 points, maybe 5 times. He's made only 1. He missed the other 2. One of them with his left was really good. It just didn't. He didn't use it as kill shot. He flopped it to slide the right wall.
No, short serve.
And this is the part of Marcos Chavez's game that I find intimidating as an opponent, where he comes in and does these underhand serves to you. It's almost like, I'm not going to give you my hard stuff because you don't deserve it. And it works right into your head when he would serve that way to me. I know others have commented about this as well. Drives you nuts. It's like, who do you think you're playing? You have to just like
No,
lob it
short
in
serve.
here. I mean, I'm that bad that,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
and he just like
Second serve.
acts like the serve is not that big of a deal, but
So the first time I would think, what do you have up your sleeve?
Side is
You're
out.
giving me this now. And then when you realize, no.
watch how lackadaisical he handles.
Serves 2.
No, he's going to go with the power serve here. Nope. Look how it's just lackadaisical. I'm going to throw this in, but what he develops off the serve is a pretty weak return in most cases.
Point.
Sometimes he does it
9
where he's not
serves 2.
even looking.
So you're talking about Nani Jr. being in the
Point.
top 8, so he can't play in the seniors.
Right. But Marcos
Where is he
can
at?
because he's not ranked in the top 8. He was like 10. He had to go into the
Okay.
qualifiers, so that
10
means he had to
serves
play
2.
in the qualifier rounds just to get into the main
No,
bracket.
short serve.
Okay.
And Mark, if you were already named into the main bracket, you're just
Second
sitting there,
serve.
and it's not that we didn't deem it fair.
Point.
It's just we're going to make it a little bit harder. If you want to play in both, you're going to have to qualify in one and then play in the
11
other, and
serves
then
2.
you're going to be not as good in the other.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Point. He's not used to that ball. 12 serves 2. Does he play with the 21 ball?
There we go.
Side out.
You can see him getting frustrated before that point. Looking for that side out.
2 serves 12. Yeah, had a lead the whole time. I just couldn't push the lead. I couldn't stretch the lead. Point. Three serves 12. Yeah, I just couldn't stretch that lead. I missed a couple of these. Short. Second serve. Side out.
Only able to gain 1 point there. He was
12
looking for
serves
more.
3. Point.
And there's a point on that serve. Now Marcos learning that that glass over there is
13 serves 3.
helping him. And when it rains, it pours, Kara. As an opponent, all of a sudden, you just
14 serves
feel
3.
on the easy ones. This is what that underhand serve does to you.
Down ball.
That ball skipped, and that's
Halftime.
halftime at 15, and we're going to
Serves
take a
3.
quick 3-minute break. We'll be
Dan
back in
Zimet
just a bit.
serves.
Stick around for Kara Mack. My name is Dave Vincent. We'll have more handball in just a few minutes as we conclude the senior round of 8 with Marco Chavez and Dan Zimet in 3 minutes here at ESPN and the Watch ESPN app.
My name is Bruce Fabrizio. In 1975, I invented Simple Green based on 3 principles. It had to be safer to use, it had to work, and it had to be completely made in America. From generation to generation, Simple Green has been cleaning everything from car engines and tools to kitchen counters and floors. No matter what you clean, indoors or outdoors, clean it with non-toxic, biodegradable Simple Green.
Since 1979, Tucson Rolling Shutters has manufactured energy-saving products to fit your lifestyle. Our rolling shutters are the ultimate in energy savings, security, and comfort. Our exterior solution screens reduce energy costs by protecting your home from the sun's harmful heat and glare. We ship our products to authorized dealers all across North America. For a dealer near you or to become a dealer, see our website, TucsonRollingShutters.com.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards!
Oh, don't. Oh.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no? Okay,
Yeah.
here it comes.
Oh, no!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you.
Let's go.
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the texts, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Back in Salt Lake City, Utah for the men's senior 40-plus quarterfinals. Marco Chavez leads at half as Dan Zimet from Maryland is now chatting with his longtime,
Okay, serving, Dan.
I guess you would say foe,
Marcos receiving.
rival
Here we go.
from
3,
Toledo, where they've
serves
played
15.
multiple three-wall national championships either against each other or rooted against each other or for each other. Who knows? I'm not
Side
saying that they
out.
don't like each other. Don't let that foe terminology go against.
15 serves 3.
I saw Dan there flash a smile a little bit.
Point.
You know, when it is your first time on tour,
16 serves
there's
3.
a lot of elements here that kind of get in the way that you're not used to at regular tournaments, because in regular tournaments you just play your match.
Side out.
But here you have cameras, reporters, photographers, local press,
3 serves 16.
and as you see, it's just a barrage of people coming into the front door. It's just
When we talked about it too, some of the
Point.
venues we go to, there's not a lot of space. So to cram in and see the match that you want to see is a little more difficult than here.
4 serves
There
16.
is a ton of room for people to watch, and they are from all angles. So even when they're looking out that side glass, they've got a lineup of people as an audience there watching them.
right.
Side out. Sixteenth serves 4.
This is a one-game match at 25. Win by 2.
Down ball, side out. Four serves 16.
This instant replay brought to you by RNA CPAs, Super Slow-Mo. There it is again. See? Now that's
Side out.
replay worthy. Those at home say, oh, he just hit the ball to the front wall. It's not a big deal.
16
That
serves
is one of the
4.
hardest things you can do in handball, Kara. And he did it so lackadaisical, and that's the reason why it's effective. And I know we'll take a look at it later, but now we're back into play, and I'll explain a little bit what's
Side
going
out.
on. Marcos has a right corner or a right side kill shot as he's going to aim down the right wall, and instead
4 serves 16.
he flips it over nonchalantly to the left corner, like almost like a no-look
No,
pass.
short serve.
Like he's the Pistol Pete. Might have been a little bit
Second
before your
serve.
time, but Pistol Pete of handball. The Stephen Curry of handball.
Point.
I was going to say, if you did that, though, you'd have to do it 77 times in a row like Curry did in practice the other day. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Three-pointer.
94 out of 100,
5
77 in a
serves
row.
16.
I was going to say, I don't think you can put some of those professionals up to put layups in just a
Short
basic
serve.
practice where they're messing around and have them make 77 in a row.
I couldn't make
Second
77 in a
serve.
row standing directly under the basket
No.
because after a while your shoulders start hurting. after a while you get hungry and you have
Down
to
ball point.
eat an In-N-Out burger. I mean, that's the only reason why.
6, serve 16.
And it wasn't even from the same spot.
Yeah, that's true. That makes it even more
Side
hard.
out.
That's a nice shot there from Chavez.
Being a Blazer girl, I guess
16,
that
serve
just bit me
6.
hard because he got to us
Yeah.
last 2 games. So.
Point.
Look at this replay here.
17, serve 6.
There's a hop. Natural hook to the left. See, a lot of the players not going to the roof. Instead, they're using more of the higher part of the front wall because it's really flying at this altitude. This ball is really carrying, just a lot like a home run in Denver.
Side out.
So instead of hitting the ceiling, they're paddling balls to the front wall and letting it get the same effect as if it hit a ceiling shot.
6, serve 17. Short serve. Second serve.
With the altitude, have you noticed more shirt changes or anything with the players?
More stalling. I don't know about the shirt changes, but
Side out. Seventeen, serve 6. Side out. 6, serve 17.
He's gonna have to make a run here, or soon.
time is running out behind the back. Flip from
Point.
Marcos makes no difference. Dan gets another point. Now it's becoming more respectable on a score line.
7, serve 17. Side out. 17, serve 7. No, short serve. Second serve. Replay.
Got pegged there. That might be
Check
a
the
bruise.
ball, please.
It's pretty close up.
Take a look.
17, serve 7.
There's another side,
Side
out.
out.
Now you see Dan starting to string together a little bit more of these winning rallies, side
7,
outs,
serve
points.
17.
At least he's holding Chavez to not gain
Score,
as many
right.
as he has.
Side out.
Marco Chavez back into the server's box trying to get to 25 first so he can advance to the semifinals, a place he's quite familiar with.
17, serve 7. Down ball, side
But
out.
they also remember Marcos was in the top 16 of the elite players, which means he's still over there qualifying.
7, serve
Excuse me,
17.
in the playoffs. So he's got a lot more matches with the young guys still to play today, probably 3 or 4, plus another senior match, and that is a great serve from Dan Zimet. Right down the middle, set up for Zimet. And another point. So Marcos has got many matches to play today. So you might see
8,
a lot more of
serve
that,
17.
that flop stuff and him taking it easy because he knows what he's
Store
going to be in store for here. It's not going to be fun. Some of it will be. With every win, you get more cash.
Side out.
That was just an example of somebody who just completely lost the ball on the side glass. Zimet had to go between his legs
17, serves 8.
to hit that ball.
Zimet seems to be having a lot of issues with that side wall.
Point.
On camera, it doesn't look bad, especially from this angle, but when you're in the court, this game's all about your footwork, and you just make one little slight
18
error.
serves 8.
One little tiny error on your footwork. We were talking about it could be you step 2 inches to the
Replay.
left when you should have gone 1 inch to the right, and that's all the difference it can make.
18 serves 8. Now screen serve.
It's a good call from our referee, Chris
close.
Watkins. This is the WPH Race for 8 Tour on ESPN, and the Watch ESPN app brought to you by Aces
First serve, 1 screen.
and their outdoor advertising and the cleanup crew, plus Dewey's Bail Bonds, and a whole list of sponsors that will be running down
Side
throughout
out.
the morning. Dan Zimet gets a side out with a nice flat kill from the Sports Mall in Salt Lake City, Utah.
8 serves 18. No, short serve.
They could go to the booth here, but he doesn't. I
Second
guess
serve.
Zimet just doesn't know you can do that. Not that I want him to. But he could if he wanted to. Now, if he loses the challenge, he can't do it again, but it doesn't appear that he even knows it exists. All those rules have been emailed to all the players before the tournament.
Side out.
It's about 110 pages worth of stuff, so if you just didn't catch it.
Wow.
18 serves 8.
No, I'm just joking.
You make
It's
them
a-
read up.
No, it's just a couple paragraphs. Couple paragraphs.
Point.
I'm sure you could write 110 pages on handball, though.
Actually, you could, unfortunately. Watch this replay. That ball just completely fools Dan Zimet. That's because Marco Chavez is spinning that ball as he serves it.
19 serves 8. Side out. 8 serves 19. Short serve. Second serve. Side out.
Didn't see their ball went there. Again, went up high.
19 serves 8. Point. Twenty serves 8.
Now here's the 5-point mark. David, you're not allowed to
I'm
say
not
anything.
gonna say-
You're not allowed to say anything.
This is where
Point.
they kick me out of the booth when it gets this
Last
close.
match, exactly.
In the men's 40
21. Hold it,
quarterfinals, 52-year-old Dan Armijo
21
defeats
serves
John
8.
Bike
Oh, wow.
25-16. That was on a dark court.
So that's the second time that has happened? Is that
Well, no, it's happened before, but it just wasn't something that
First ball,
happened
good call.
when John was touring. It was, we're talking like 50-0 wins, and then, here
Thank
in
you.
recent years, maybe 2 or 3
Timeout.
wins
That's your
for
second timeout.
Dan Armijo. That
Score
puts
is Marco serving.
Andy
22.
Shad in the upper bracket of the
Dan
men's
Zimet,
40-plus seniors versus Tom Sheridan at 12:30 this afternoon, and that one will be definitely pushed back. And Dan Armijo will be going up against the winner of what looks like to be Marco Chavez if he were to close this one out. So that would round out the men's seniors. But Dan Zimet's not going away. You're watching the Players' Championship, Salt Lake City, Utah at the Sports Mall. My name is Dave Vincent alongside Kara Mack.
Did Shad try to play in the younger bracket as well?
No. In fact, it's kind of odd because we felt that he could qualify, and it's weird to us that he actually hasn't tried to do
30
it
seconds.
because he's one of the guys that could. I mean, I was on tour until I had Tommy John surgery, and I would do it just because it's like, well, I'll go ahead. I would do better in the elite qualifier than I would do in the 40s. I probably entered at the same time 4 of those events, qualified with the young guys twice, and only made it to one final in the 40s.
10 seconds.
And I thought, well, one of those guys that hold you back from getting there would be Andy Shad. he should go over and cross over and go to the young guys because, you know, Tom Sheridan did, Marco Chavez did.
Well, once you're here and you've made the
play.
travel, you would think, why
you
not?
say, well, I'll do it.
22,
You know,
serves
one of these
8.
I'll do good in. It's always the young guys I did well in. It wasn't the old guys.
Yeah.
They're too crafty for me.
Hold it.
Young guys were not, you know, you kind of like capitalize a little bit on them for not knowing some of the crafty
22
things that
serves
you could
8.
do. But the old guys are like, well, you know,
Exactly.
that's how you play. So I'm not. That doesn't affect me any.
Point.
But so I'm a little surprised that Andy Shad hasn't done it, but
23 serves 8.
also kind of happy that he's focused on one thing. That's a huge overhit from Dan Zimet.
Point.
And Dan can't go home saying that he got a bad draw. When you hit shots like that, you have to blame a little bit of
Match
that
point,
stuff on yourself.
Serves 8. No. Short serve. Second serve. Side out.
Marcos is going to try to kind of guide that ball up there. That's one of those quick wrist flick
8
rollouts
serves
that he
24.
missed at match point.
Point.
Have you ever seen someone come back?
No.
24-8 deficit.
Nope. No, I haven't seen it. But I'm open to it. I like when it happens.
9
Yeah, so
serves
you're saying there's
24.
a chance.
Yeah.
Right?
To quote Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber.
Exactly.
Not that you were necessarily going there, but maybe you were.
Match point. Serves 9.
See what Marcos does. I think he's not going to change his routine.
Side out.
We had players sharing their favorite stories of the season last night, and this would be one for Dan if he came back here.
Wow, that should be a story that you would tell for your
9
whole
serves
career.
24.
If you can come back from a 9-24 deficit to win. I think we've seen 11, maybe
Side
11
out.
to 24, but not an 8 to 24. Now another side out, another match point. This is the third attempt for
24
Marcos to put
serves
this one
9.
away. Could have been called short. Now I'm going to say that Marcos won
Nice
unless this
pass,
is appealed,
gentlemen.
and I guess it's not going to be, and Marcos wins. He advances to the semifinals of the 40-plus. Dan Zimet will go into the
Marcos
playoffs.
Chavez advancing. Semis versus Dan Armijo, I
And our
believe.
referee just said it best. We will have another match coming up right around the corner,
Yep,
Kara.
good
We're going to
job,
close
man.
this one out and get ready for more action on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Women's quarterfinals are going to kick off. It's going to be fun. We have Jessica Gawley and Martina McMahon, the current USHA National Women's Open Doubles champion, against our #2 ranked player. Let's see how that fares. They're both lefties, and they are both coming up next, so we're going to catch that. For Kara Mack and the crew working back in the van, Chris, Linda, Jeff, Gene, Matt Titano, and Lolita DeVincent. My name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back in just a bit. Stick around here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app next.
This broadcast of the Players Championship is brought to you by R&A CPAs, accounting, audit, domestic and international tax services, by the Sports Mall, by Dewey's Bail Bonds, and by Edel Handball. Get the new machine washable Pro Glove at www.edelhandball.com.